What's going on, everybody here? Welcome to another week of live racing right here at Parx Racing. It's out of the gate. Track Announcer Chris Griffin in the Parx Racing studio. Going to take a look at the 10 races on the program, ready to kick things off here on a Monday. 3 straight days of racing. First post times of 12:55. But first, let's take a look back at some of the winners from last week. This is the Parx Playback.
Parx Playback time on Monday. Platinum Ice was like diamonds on the track. Just sensational in the second race on Monday for Edwin, riding on the Rivera with the score for trainer Ed Coletti Jr. Wait for it. It's that man, Ed Coletti Jr. one more time. The winner this time was Starship Charlie with apprentice Courtney Gilardo. Torn Jeans closed out on Monday with a big run under Adubiel Ignacio. Give it to FFC, that's Felix Flores Coba, and wins for FF Stables. But that was an A+ performance. On Tuesday, Moonchild, things will get brighter. Abner, big fan fave Adorno, continues to stay hot and wins it for JKX Racing. Do a little dance, spread a little love, Disco Deja Vu. Get down Edwin Rivera one more time, dancing through rivals and sprinting clear late. This is Spartak. Jeremy Weanita Laprida with a big-time run, passing all rivals from last to first, and gets the upset on Tuesday. Wednesday action showing off down the center of the racetrack with all the momentum. And there's that man again, amazing with 2 capital A's, Abner Adorno. For Tyler Service, that's a $20 winner. And a 3-year-old to watch as Noble Gaston was a dominating winner under Angel Castillo. Mario Dominguez trains the maiden victor. Maybe he's beauty, maybe he's a beast. He is Noble Gaston. Have a great week.
Congratulations to all those winners from last week. Let's take a look at some of the races here this afternoon. 6 furlongs maiden special weight state bred event here. The number 4 Imagism is going to be my top selection in here. Danny Velasquez, Abner Adorno, who you just saw in those highlights at this 6 furlong distance, does drop in class here a touch down to the state bred maiden special weight. Had been running against the Open Company. Yes, you take a look at some of the runners in this field have been running against Open maiden 40s, maiden 30s, but I do think that Imagism, if you give her another opportunity here, a 3-year-old filly by Jumpstart, she's got a big chance here to step up, and maybe you get a touch of a price there, 5-1 on the morning line. When we take a look at race number 2, maiden $10,000 race, 5.5 furlongs is the distance in there. An outside draw, Proby Dancing ends up as the top selection in here. Andy Hernandez gets the weight break. Mary Pattershaw, we'll see them team up in here. They've only teamed up once in 2021. We'll see if they can connect here in 2022. I do think that at least she's been in front of some horses. In a field like this, you want to be up near the lead, make the rest of them run by you. We'll take a look at a replay coming up on the live show later this afternoon when we take a look at that second race. So we'll talk about that plenty later this afternoon. We got plenty coming up right here at Parx. Take a look at a couple of the new things and a couple exciting things coming up right here at Parx Racing.
Saturday, May 7th, it's Kentucky Derby Day. And yes, we are racing at Parx. Bring the family for all the fun in the Parx Picnic Grove. Who loves live music? A DJ from 10 to noon, followed by Vinyl Countdown. Don't miss the Kentucky Derby Hat Contest, brought to you by the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association. Urban Village Brewing brings you chomping at the bit. Get a free mug with draft purchase while supplies last. Gates open at 10 a.m. First post at Parx is 12:05. Join us and watch and wager on the Kentucky Derby at Parx Racing.
Make sure you jot it down. Join us for all the great excitement, especially Kentucky Derby Day coming up Saturday, May 7th. $15,000 open claiming race, a mile and 16th. When you take a look at race number 3, the number 6 Sacramento Q. I'm going right back to Mary Pattershaw here. Jose Gomez with the ride. First off the claim, 22%, but this is kind of her wheelhouse here. She goes into this type of layoff 61 to 180 days. She's hit at a really high clip, 33% when you take a look at the barn. So Sacramento Q, a 7-year-old gelding, only 1 win at the distance, but 11 starts, 3 seconds and 2/3. I do think the 6 has a big shot there in race number 3. Race number 4, 5.5 furlongs. I'm going to go to an outside runner once again. Hopefully the outside is good this afternoon. Princess Kyra, and let's take a look at this last run. Look, she was running against 12.5s last time. Now she's going to run against $7,500 open claiming. When you take a look at this 3-year-old filly, she's going to close some big ground. Yes, they were going fast early, 22 and 4 type early speed, 47 for a half-mile time. She's going to close into these fractions. She's going to end up finishing 4th beaten 6. I thought that this effort, it's good enough to put her right in the picture here at the $7,500 level. When you talk about this run at 12.5, she was just facing a little bit tougher. 2 starts ago, she got claimed for the $7,500 tag. So I think Susan Crowell says, look, let's go back to $7,500, get an opportunity there with the 8 Princess Kyra. Race number 5, mile and 70 yards. This is a real competitive race here at the Open, $25,000 claiming. Why can't Kingsville win this race? I mean, Kingsville has been tackling some really good horses. Exit Right, Bird King in the last 2 starts alone. Then you take a look at some of the other races. Has just been running into a lot better horses, some better company at this level. Comes into this $25,000 open claiming where some of these other runners have dropped into this spot and they perform quite well. So I think Kingsville offers enough value. You get Ernesto Padilla Preciado, you get Dexter Haddock. Yes, 0 for 20 at the distance, I get that. But Kingsville is dropping into a spot where I do think that this horse has a big shot in that 5th race. Let's talk to one of the trainers here on the backside. We got a chance to catch up with trainer Michael Catalano Jr., who's been a fixture here on the East Coast, and here's what he had to say about his career and where the barn is headed in 2022.
Trainer Michael Catalano Jr. comes from a family with a horse racing background.
Well, I'm 3rd generation. I grew up in Boston. All my family was in the horse business, and I'm kind of the last surviving one. Brought up at the track, and we went to the track every morning, every day. We did Suffolk, Rockingham, Gulfstream, and Highland in the winter. And my dad was kind of just an all-around horseman, hands-on guy.
Learning from his father about training, Michael Catalano Jr. was thrust right into the hands-on experience very early on.
You kind of just learned. You know, my dad would put you in the stall with him, and he'd be taking care of one leg, and he would show you what to do on the other, and he would point everything out. And said, you really didn't realize you were learning as you were learning. Old school people like my father and some other people have what's kept the ship afloat all these years.
Racing in the New England region, Catalano Jr. recalls many big horses at that time.
Well, I was there when Coit had his good run, and you know, and the Mascap always brought in nice horses, and you know, there's been some really great older horses along the way, like Moxie Town, that win 50 races, and horses like that. I had a horse called Fickle Storm that won 22 races in New England. It was like leading horse in the country, tied for leading horse in the country. There's some real hard knockers.
For any trainer, they need great owners, and Catalano Jr. has an appreciation for his.
You know, I've been lucky. I've been lucky to always have a 1 or 2 really loyal, faithful guys. And right now I have John Julia, I have Tony Como from Just in Time Bing Cherry, both class people, both very loyal. You know, they stand behind you when you're doing good. They help you do good. They make it easy on you. They let you run the horses where they belong. You know, they couldn't be asked for. They're both very good paid clients. You know, it's a joy to train for people that understand the game.
Training horses is a round-the-clock job. The Catalano Jr. barn is no different.
We get here at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're not out of here till 5, 6 in the afternoon. And if it wasn't for her dragging me along, I'd be lingering somewhere else, let me tell you.
The goal remains the same, and there's nothing like winning.
No, it's just you know, it's an overall just happy for the horse, extremely happy for the client and ourselves and everybody, and it's just sometimes we get a little carried away, as you know. You could see one day I threw my girlfriend up on the horse, and Stewart's didn't take too kind to that, but we were just over ecstatic after Jabberjaw's win.
Are there any races that trainer Michael Catalano Jr. would like to win?
You know, I mean, the dream. Sometimes the dream's just to win one. But, you know, everybody would like a good horse. I'm not a guy that needs needs a derby horse or anything like that, I got a lot of appreciation for old class horses. And I'd love one day to have a really, really good sprinter, like a horse that can go run in the Dubai Sprint, or kind of goes around the country and just runs in those races. That'd be fun for me. I got a real appreciation for sprinters.
What advice would trainer Michael Catalano Jr. give to aspiring trainers?
I'd give him real good advice that I didn't take. Go to work for a big time trainer. Go to work for, Todd Fletcher or one of those guys that are out there, Brad Cox. The experience you'll get is unbelievable, not just in horsemanship, but you'll get it in how the game is run and how you deal with people and where you need to be and just what to do with a really nice horse.
Big carryover jackpot in the Philly Big Five, well over $250,000 now, $264,638.83. Going to take a look at this sixth race. It starts in race number 6, 7,500 non-4 lifetime event here. 6 furlongs is the distance. When you take a look at this race, the number 5, What's to Blame? It just seems like this horse is dropping into the right spot. Had been running at the open 15,000, now drops into the 7,500. We've seen this drop work before. It just seems like 3-1 probably goes off a little bit shorter than that. You get Jamie Rodriguez here for Steve Glaceris. That horse looks really well meant in that spot. That's the 5, What's to Blame? Race number 7, 6 furlongs, $10,000 claiming race in there. When you take a look at this level and this type of race, could you go a lot of different directions? Yes, I think put the glass down, another class dropper in here that just seems to be kind of dropping into the right spot. You take a look at this horse coming out of a starter race. Prior to that, another starter race. This horse was winning for state bred allowance and starters, only 4 starts back. So this horse makes a lot of sense in here. Abner Adorno's been red hot. So is Guadalupe Guerrero. They're going to team up in here on a horse that's 3-1 in the morning line. The 3, Put the Glass Down. That's definitely the top choice. I could see you going a little bit deeper because it's that kind of $10,000 level that a lot of different things could happen. But I like the 3 there in race number 7. Speaking of what do you like, hey, it's Parx Fanatics. What's everybody's favorite breakfast? We had to find out.
Oatmeal.
Eggs. Love eggs. Any type of eggs.
Red Bull.
As much as I can. A lot of eggs. Love eggs.
Breakfast.
My morning breakfast, I don't eat breakfast. We wait till lunch. We got to get here and get the work done.
Coffee, coffee, coffee.
A Nutri-Grain bar and coffee if my stomach can handle it, because I'm a horse trainer and I have a weak stomach.
Catalano was wearing the same sweater in both interviews. It's almost like we shot it the same day, isn't it? It's because we did. Race number 8, when you take a look at a mile and 70 yards, optional $50,000 claiming race in here. I'm going to go 3-2-5. 3, Glenn. Just take a look at Butch Reed and Frankie Pennington drawing away, winning this sprint race, 6.5 furlongs. 3-year-old colt by Empire Maker, $180,000 purchase price. We're going to take a look at this last run. Look, I think that the future is bright for this horse. We're just going to find out here how bright. I think that when you take a look at this effort, Butch Reed, obviously, when he gets these good 3-year-olds, he continues to know what to do with them. This horse is no different. I mean, look at this effort. He's striding away. Big, good-looking colt here by Empire Maker, Escondere on the bottom side. When he runs this type of figure, a pretty good figure first time out, but he is just cruising to the finish. He's still got room to grow. He's going to continue to learn, and we're going to see if he takes that next step up. It's a big step here going to 2 turns, but I like 3, Glenn here in today's 8th race. Let's take a look at last week's performance of the week before we get out of here. That's going to do it here for another episode of Out of the Gate. Don't forget you can follow us on all of our social media channels. You see my social media right there at In the Grandstand. Let's take a look at everything we got going on here at Parx, at Parx Racing, at In the Grandstand. That's on Twitter, the bird right there on that app. Parx Racing, Subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and Parx_Racing on Instagram. We'll see you right here next week. Enjoy this week of live racing here at Parx.